I'm standing on Southwest 1st Street in Mineral Wells, staring at 7 stories of faded brick and boarded windows. The sign still reads Nazareth Hospital, though the last ambulance pulled away more than half a century ago. A century of stories lies inside that shell, so let's walk it top to bottom. No tour guide, just the lifetime of a building that once kept an entire town alive and now survives on memory alone. The story begins in 1928, when Mineral Wells was the self-proclaimed health resort of Texas. Visitors flocked here to drink the famous crazy water, and investors put up a modern clinic beside the new Crazy Water Hotel. 46 beds, Spanish colonial arches, a tiled cornice bright as a fiesta. It opened on optimism and promptly slammed into the Great Depression. By 1931, the place was teetering. That's when 6 sisters of the Holy Family of Nazareth arrived with $60 between them and a promise. Nobody who needed care would be turned away. They bought the clinic for pennies on the dollar, renamed it Nazareth Hospital, and moved into the top floor so they could climb a staircase instead of calling a cab when someone rang the night bell. From day one, the numbers made no sense. In the first year, the nuns treated 300 patients. Nearly half paid nothing. A local women's auxiliary held cake sales to cover linens and bandages. During the polio summers of the 1940s, iron lungs lined one hallway. And during the tuberculosis spikes of the 50s, entire wards filled with coughing patients sealed behind swinging doors. At its peak, the roster read like a small army. 13 nuns, 4 graduate nurses, 12 doctors on call, an anesthetist who was also a nun, 1 janitor, and a coal-fired furnace that never slept. Nazareth became the town's heartbeat. Babies arrived on the 4th floor, soldiers from Camp Walters limped into the ER, and farmers who couldn't afford a doctor found one anyway. The sisters stretched every dollar. Linens were washed until the weave went transparent. Surgical tools were buffed and rebuffed instead of replaced. And rumors say at least 1 operating light was repaired with parts from a tractor. Yet the building endured 2 interior fires and still qualified as a certified fallout shelter in the 1960s. I was actually given one of the government-issued fallout shelter handbooks during the building cleanup phase. A very interesting read, and I hope I never need to utilize the knowledge I learned from that handbook. Time, however, doesn't negotiate. Medicine modernized, the sisters aged. By 1965, they told county leaders they simply couldn't keep pace with new equipment or staffing levels. Palo Pinto County formed a hospital district, and in 1970, a modern facility opened on the east edge of town. On moving day, patients were rolled out of the old wards, driven across town, and rolled into bright new rooms that smelled like fresh paint and optimism. Nazareth switched off its lights. For a while, the building shape-shifted to stay useful. Head Start classrooms filled the maternity ward. County job training offices took over administration. A nurse training program drilled students in rooms where polio tents once hummed. But tenants drifted away, and by 2001, the last desk lamp clicked off. Rain slipped through cracked tile. Pigeons found open windows. Vandals left spray can signatures on plaster that once held crucifixes. Urban explorers came looking for a thrill and left talking about cold spots and footsteps that didn't match their own. That reputation led to an unexpected encore. In 2019, new owners stabilized the ground floor, rewired a few halls, and opened a seasonal haunted house. For a short period, Nazareth Hospital traded scalpels for strobe lights, and spooky decorations for jump scares. The attraction drew crowds and headlines until structural costs and new safety codes shut the operation down. Since then, the building has been padlocked again. No more haunted tours, no more costumed ghouls, just the silence and whatever history has chosen to echo. And echo it does. Former staff recall wheelchairs that rolled across polished floors long after visiting hours. Modern ghost hunters swear they've recorded a woman whispering prayers in a dialect of Polish, the sisters' native tongue. The most persistent tale is the Blue Nun, a translucent figure said to glide through the fourth-floor maternity ward. Whether you believe it or not, step inside and the temperature drops 10 degrees. Flashlight beams stutter, and every drip of water feels amplified by memory. Yet the building isn't entirely without pulse. In 2020, Nazareth was added to the National Register of Historic Places as part of the Downtown Historic District. That designation doesn't fix roofs or abate asbestos, but it does put a protective arm around the structure and offers tax incentives if the right developer shows up. 2 blocks away, the 1929 Baker Hotel is undergoing a multi-million-dollar rebirth. If that project proves tourists will pay to sleep in history, the odds improve that someone will see potential in the 7 stories of Spanish brick a short walk away. Challenges are steep: lead paint, elevator shafts that don't meet code, a basement incinerator that once doubled as a crematory. All expensive obstacles. But possibilities spark in the corners. Loft apartments with views of the Crazy Water Hotel sign, an artist-in-residence program inside former patient rooms, a medical history museum that honors the sisters and the lives they touched. A building that strong, that storied, deserves a future louder than the drip of rain in an empty stairwell. So here I stand, camera pointed at rusted fire escapes and sun-bleached lettering. I picture nuns leaning over newborns, soldiers gripping gurney rails, and cake sale volunteers counting nickels to keep the X-ray bulbs lit. I picture thrill seekers clutching glow sticks and investors scanning blueprints. Mostly, I picture a community lifeline that refuses to quit. Some structures die when the doors close. Nazareth Hospital keeps breathing, sometimes shallow, sometimes ghost thick, but breathing. Whether the next chapter is lofts, labs, or legends, the old hospital is waiting. Pulse steady inside brick walls built to outlive us all. If this walk through Nazareth's past left you thinking, more people need to see this, I'd appreciate a quick share. And if you'd like to keep these deep dive stories coming, my Facebook page has a $1 a month subscriber option. That single dollar helps cover batteries, server storage costs, and the next tank of gas to the next forgotten landmark. Whether you share, subscribe, or just keep watching, thanks for riding along. Plenty more Texas history still waiting down the road.
Neon buzz is dying, paint flakes drift like snow, empty beds still whisper names that only night shift knows. Steel doors breathe in shadows, ivy poles stand guard, every echo feels acquainted. for what's to come.